I would like to offer a series of video tutorials about one of the crucial modes of scientific communication, a scholarly journal article, with this short video that answers a question: what is a scholarly article? This tutorial briefly explains how scholarly articles are different, what kind of types of scholarly articles exist, what's the difference between scholarly versus practitioner's article, and also we talk about the structure or an anatomy of scholarly article. Scholarly articles are coming from scholarly journals, and most of our scholarly journals are online in KSU Virtual Library. As a graduate student, you are encouraged to become familiar with scholarly communication process and be a savvy consumer of scientific information. You will write literature reviews for research papers or for dissertation and analyze somebody else's research. Most probably, you will be dealing with peer review journal article. So what's the difference between a scholarly and a peer review article? Both types are aimed at the same audience, have the same structure, and it's hard to see the difference. You have to consult a special indexes such as Auric Web, and you, the student, KSU student, have access to that source. Or you will limit your search using commercial databases filters to make sure that the article you pick up went through the peer review process. For researchers, peer review process could be brutal, but it guarantees the quality of publication and the rigor of research. It is important to clarify the difference between primary and secondary and tertiary sources. Most of academic articles are secondary sources. They report on research that have been done analyzing primary sources. When you write literature review, which is a tertiary source, you do not analyze primary sources. You evaluate only secondary sources. It's also important to recognize the difference between theories, concepts, and conceptual and theoretical articles. Theoretical article traces the development of a theory and compare with newly developed theory or mature theory with other theoretical frameworks or theories. Conceptual paper could discuss different theories at the same time, discuss models. It will never will use any empirical data. Literature does not make it clear, it does not differentiate clearly enough the difference between empirical article and research study report. Both types of reports of research studies or reports on research studies based on the evidence as opposed to theoretical articles or conceptual papers. So research study report usually written by researchers, and it could be analyze any type of study. Empirical research paper sometimes defined as the paper that research findings derived from the direct observation or an experiment. If you ask to review scholarship or research or conduct literature review for your dissertation, you have to be aware that practitioners' articles or trade publication usually are not part of literature review. On the screen, you see a table that illustrates differences between so-called scholarly article versus so-called practitioner article that come from trade publications. You will read a great amount of articles, and you'll be asked to analyze them rather quickly. And it will be nice if you know what's the typical structure of article. In this case, you will practice so-called selective reading. Each published research report has introduction, which provide background, state the problem and purpose of the study, posits question, hypothesis. Sometimes you will find research review there, sometimes it's published in a separate section. Method will be next important section, which follow by findings, study results, and sometimes discussion. Abstracts and references are always present. Knowing the structure will help you to find research study reports and analyze them and read them selectively. Sometimes you need only to read abstract. Sometimes you will use only particular section, for example methods. Sometimes you will learn only about findings and discussions. For people who would like to know more about research article and scholarly article, I do recommend to look through these sources, and I refer to my web-based guide about scholarly article.